you are back for part two. Part two, red flags, are you in a toxic friendship? Let's get into it. Because let me tell you really quick before I dive in, no one talks about the heartbreak that you get when you lose a friend. Like, it's detrimental. Like, it really feels worse than a breakup with your first love, last love, any love. I don't know about you, but when I lose a friend, it's almost like losing a part of me. Like, my friends, I look at them as my sisters. And a lot of times when you have loyalty and trust in someone who doesn't reciprocate that, it's hurtful. And especially when you don't know what's going on and how to intervene to stop looking like a clown or a fool. And not by your fault, but a lot of times people are just out to play you. A lot of times people don't even know who they are. They're going through the motions, and hurt people hurt people. Okay? But anyway, let's dive in. I'm going to give you the tea, the deets, all the info on how to recognize and intervene immediately if you discover any of these traits, or if you've been tolerating any of these traits and what you call a friend. Let's go. I did not talk about this in the other video, but let me tell you, I have to talk about this. Has to be number one on my list today. Friends who talk behind your back. Oh my gosh. Now listen, this has happened to me. I don't talk to her, but I reach out every now and again, just because I still have love for her and I have already forgiven her. But she's never said sorry or even acknowledged the fact that I caught her talking behind my back while I was laying in her bed recovering from surgery, literally. So anyway, someone who talks behind your back, a lot of times, it's not just on one occasion, and it's not with just one person. Now, this girl, what she would do is she had other friends, obviously outside of me, who I didn't know of, or probably just never met. We don't click like that, right? Cool. So all of a sudden, I would be hearing from her friends my business, and I was really like, hold on. Who told you this? I already knew, because this girl, she was like mom, okay? Like, when I was dealing with her really tight, I wasn't really dealing with anyone else at all really tight. So when you got that one friend, she pretty much knows everything, right? So I already knew who the source was. I just needed her to confirm, and she did. I asked my friend, I was like, yo, why does such and such know my business? Like, I don't understand, like, why I'm hearing about stuff that I told you to your friends. And literally, she just said, girl, that's my sis. And I was like, that's your sis, that's not my sis. So she's like, girl, we all family. That's shady. That's shady. Because here's the thing. You can choose what information you bring to this friend, right? And you chose to bring the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. About somebody you call your sister, somebody you look up to, right? And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. But I knew for sure when I was laying in that bed that night, and I heard her downstairs with her exes talking about my condition and why I was recovering from surgery, etc., etc. Literally, I ran down her steps with tears in my eyes. I was so hurt. I felt so betrayed. And I can't remember in this moment the words that I actually had with her, but when I confronted her, because I had the type of personality, like, I'm not gonna let it dwell in my spirit. I just want to go talk about it right now. I want to confront you about this right now so I can know how to move going forward, right? So not a confrontation as in I came to fight. I just wanted to confront her and like make sure, like, wow, I never knew that this is where we are. So when I did, she just looked at me And it's so crazy because honestly, ever since I ever, met her and brought her into my life, anyone who was an associate or a friend to me at that time never could trust her. Like, they always was like, I don't know about her. I just kind of feel like she's in competition with you, or it's just something's not right. But anyway, number 2 for part 2, number 2, super attached. I will say this the girl that I was talking about in number 1, same thing with number 2. She was super attached. Like, if I wanted to go out on a date or something like that, she would threaten my dates. No lie, I could not make this up. She would literally threaten my dates. She would tell people, you're not good enough for her. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. Like, my friend, she wants to see somebody treat me right. She knows I've been through a lot. And that's sweet. That's sweet when somebody just wants the best for you, right? Like, who doesn't want the best for their friends? But when it starts getting violent, when you start making other moves and threatening my friends, that's a red flag. And not just my dates. Like, she would threaten other girls if I wanted to go out with them. Like, she just didn't like them. Nobody was good enough to be around me but her. But anyway, let's move on. Number 3, mind you guys, I'm looking down at my tab so I can make sure I stay on subject. Okay, next one, number 3. You gotta walk on eggshells around this person. Oh, nobody likes a relationship like that where it just seems like you never know the right thing to do. You never know the right thing to say. This person can self-sabotage anything. And it's unfair. It's unfair to feel like insecure in any relationship, right? Nobody wants to walk on eggshells because really, you don't know how to be yourself around this person. Red flag, girl. This person is battling some demons that you probably don't have the skills to help them with. Moving right along. Last one. Competition. They make you compete with their friends or other people in their lives. Now, let me tell you, if we're friends, like, I don't want to have to chase you as far as I got to call you first. I got to text you first. Have y'all ever been in a friendship like that? I have noticed people change the way they maneuver based on how I do things. I have different cultures, and this is why I move like this. But I don't want to feel used in any relationship. I don't want to have to compete with your friend. I don't want to have to constantly come around and you're insinuating what others have done for you to see what you can get from me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not your man. Park your brakes. Okay. But guys, let me tell you, these red flags are not easy to recognize. Trust me, I have stayed in relationships longer than I had needed to because I was used to how can I say this? Because I was familiar with who I expected them to be. And then when it changed, it just kind of threw me for a loop, if that makes sense. It's like, I don't know if you're going through a phase or maybe something you're not telling me. I feel like it's so important to set boundaries in your friendships as well as any other relationship. Set boundaries. And when you start to notice your friends going off the spectrum, listen, talk to them. I feel like everybody deserves a second chance, depending on how far they went, right? Like, if it's too messy, recognize the snake, don't let them bite you again. But for other people, a lot of times people are just going through a struggle in their life, and again, misery likes company. And it's been times in my life where I have just been mean and lashed out on the wrong people and the people who are really closer to me. And I know it, but I don't know it, right? And I don't want to drive a wedge in between my friendships and the people who love me. So be honest with your friends. You also have a duty to them too. Talk to them. Let them know, hey, when you say this or when you act this way towards me, it hurts me. Or when you talk to me and you do this, when we're out in public, it makes me feel like you don't really like me. Like, we gotta be honest and we gotta be forthcoming. That way we can find solutions and have long-lasting friendships and relationships. So listen, if you recognize any of these red flags in your friends, talk to them, set boundaries, or get gone. Relationships you won't be able to repair. All relationships are not salvageable, right? So it's okay recognizing that some people come into your life for a season. Actually, 85 to 95% of the people that you meet, that you befriend, are seasonal people. They were there to get you through whatever it is, and then you have developed and moved on. A lot of people don't develop or self-improve at the rates that we do, or you do. And sometimes you just grow a distance between each other. And it's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? But being able to recognize that, being honest, and communicating will do wonders in any relationship. All right, babe. So I'm going to wrap it up with part 2, red flags that you are in a toxic friendship. Now, I'm going to do 2 videos this week, so I hope you stick around. If you have not yet, please subscribe, like this video, and give me a comment. Tell me about some of your experiences, how you overcame them, or maybe you need some more advice on how to ease your hand out that lion's mouth, right? So listen, I would love to hear from you. Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.